7 hacks to cure insulin resistance. Did you know that insulin resistance may start 10 years before your blood sugar ever shows a problem on a test? That means you could be doing everything right, eating healthy, working out now and then, and still heading straight toward type 2 diabetes without knowing it. I've been there, being confused, tired, and constantly craving carbs without understanding why. If you've been feeling like your body's just not responding the way it used to, with belly fat that won't budge, energy crashes after meals, or stubborn weight gain, it's time to look deeper. In this video, I'll tell you 7 powerful hacks to cure insulin resistance naturally. These aren't generic tips like eat less sugar or exercise more. But before we get into it, please remember, always consult your healthcare provider before making any big changes to your lifestyle, diet, or medications. And stay tuned until the end because I'll also reveal 5 foods to cure insulin resistance. Now, let's get started. 1. Apple cider vinegar before carb-heavy meals. If you're dealing with insulin resistance, the timing and content of your meals matter, but adding just 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before you eat carbs may make a surprising difference in how your body processes sugar. When you take apple cider vinegar before a carb-heavy meal, one of the first things it does is slow down the rate at which your stomach empties food into the small intestine. That slower movement means your blood sugar doesn't spike as sharply because glucose is being released into your bloodstream more gradually. And with a more controlled release, your pancreas doesn't need to flood your system with insulin all at once. This gives your cells a better chance to respond properly, and over time, it reduces that insulin overload that leads to resistance in the first place. It's like turning down the volume on a system that's been screaming for help. Moreover, apple cider vinegar also has a strong effect on an enzyme that is often called the body's metabolic master switch. When this enzyme is turned on, your cells start pulling glucose out of the bloodstream more efficiently, especially in muscle tissue. That means lower blood sugar, less insulin needed, and a stronger response from the receptors that have been dulled by years of overuse. This pathway is the same one triggered during exercise or fasting, which makes apple cider vinegar a great add-on for people who are already working on lifestyle changes but want a little extra help at the cellular level. PubMed says that people with type 2 diabetes who ate apple cider vinegar every day for 8 weeks had much lower fasting blood glucose levels. The best part is that you don't need much. Just a tablespoon in water about 10 to 15 minutes before a meal is enough to trigger these effects. It's quick, affordable, and the results may be felt within days when done consistently. 2. Consistent, deep sleep to regulate hormones. Most people don't realize how much of their hormonal balance depends on consistent, deep sleep. This isn't just about getting 8 hours. It's about reaching the deepest stages of sleep that allow your body to reset its internal systems, especially the ones tied directly to blood sugar regulation. Poor sleep throws off your entire hormonal rhythm, and insulin is one of the first to suffer. Controlling cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, is one of the most important things that happens during deep sleep. Cortisol has a natural rhythm. It's supposed to peak in the morning and fall in the evening. But when your sleep is shallow or inconsistent, that rhythm gets thrown off. Cortisol stays elevated at night, which signals your liver to keep releasing glucose into your bloodstream, even though you're not eating. That constant drip of sugar keeps your insulin levels high while you sleep, leading to more resistance by morning. When you improve your sleep quality and stick to a consistent schedule, your cortisol rhythm settles down, which allows your insulin to function the way it's meant to, without constant interference. While most people link growth hormone to muscle repair, it also plays a critical role in helping your body break down fat for energy and keep blood sugar levels stable overnight. During the deep stages of sleep, growth hormone spikes naturally, encouraging fat to be used as fuel instead of relying on glucose. That gives your insulin a break and lets your cells become more sensitive to it over time. But if your sleep is fragmented or cut short, that hormone release is either delayed or doesn't happen at all, which keeps your metabolism stuck in a dysfunctional loop. According to author manuscript, reduced sleep duration and sleep disorders like obstructive sleep apnea are strongly linked to impaired glucose metabolism and insulin resistance, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes, independent of obesity. Just by creating a bedtime routine, dimming lights in the evening, and keeping a consistent sleep and wake time, your body begins to re-establish its natural balance. 3. Time-restricted eating to lower insulin load. Time-restricted eating has been a game-changer for many people trying to bring their insulin levels back into balance. You eat all your meals within a set window of time, like 8 or 10 hours, and fast for the rest. Every time you eat, especially meals high in carbs or sugar, your pancreas releases insulin to move that glucose into your cells. But if you're eating frequently from morning to night, insulin never gets a break. Over time, your cells stop responding to it properly. By compressing your eating window, your body spends more time in a fasted state, where insulin levels naturally stay low. This drop allows your cells to regain sensitivity and respond better the next time insulin is released. It's like reducing noise so your body may actually hear the signal again. Another unique benefit is how time-restricted eating syncs with your internal circadian clock. Your metabolism doesn't work the same way at night as it does in the morning. When you eat late, your body processes food less efficiently and tends to store more of it as fat. By keeping meals earlier in the day and stopping food intake in the evening, you align with your natural hormone cycles, especially cortisol and melatonin, which improves glucose handling and reduces nighttime insulin spikes. This rhythm-based eating trains your metabolism to function more effectively during the day and rest at night, which supports long-term insulin sensitivity. According to author manuscript, early time-restricted feeding improved insulin sensitivity, blood pressure, and oxidative stress in pre-diabetic men, independent of weight loss. What's great is that this isn't about skipping meals or starving yourself. It's about building a structure that supports your biology, not fights against it. When you give your body time to digest, rest, and reset between meals, insulin resistance slowly starts to reverse. 4. Build lean muscle through resistance training. When you build lean muscle, you're actually increasing the number of glucose transporters inside your muscle cells. These transporters act like little doors that open up when insulin signals them to, letting glucose move from your blood into your cells where it may be used for energy. The more muscle you have, the more of these doors you're working with, and that makes your body far more efficient at clearing sugar from the bloodstream. That means your pancreas doesn't have to work overtime pumping out insulin, which helps reduce insulin resistance over time. You're not just managing blood sugar during a workout, you're improving your baseline insulin sensitivity even while you rest. Furthermore, in the muscle cells themselves, there is another big change. As you train with weights, your muscle fibers adapt by growing stronger and more metabolically active. This reduces the amount of fat that builds up inside the muscle tissue, something that's closely linked to disrupted insulin signaling. When intramuscular fat drops, the communication between insulin and your cells becomes clearer and faster. Resistance training literally cleans up your cell's environment so they may hear and respond to insulin the way they're supposed to. PubMed says that resistance training greatly improved insulin resistance markers in overweight or obese adults who did not have diabetes. The effects were stronger in men and people under 40. Simple, consistent resistance workouts like squats, push-ups, or lifting weights just a few times a week may set off this entire chain of benefits. It's about training your body to use the fuel it already has, rather than storing it. And the more muscle you build, the more control you take back over your metabolism. 5. Prioritize magnesium for insulin receptor function. Magnesium is essential for hundreds of biochemical reactions in the body, and one of its most important jobs is making sure insulin may do its job properly. One critical way magnesium helps is by activating the insulin receptor itself. When insulin binds to its receptor on the surface of your cells, it needs magnesium to trigger the chain reaction that allows glucose to enter. Without enough magnesium, this signaling pathway becomes weak or even blocked. That means glucose just stays in the blood instead of being absorbed, leading to higher blood sugar and even more insulin release. Over time, this keeps feeding the cycle of resistance. But when you increase magnesium through food like leafy greens, seeds, or quality supplements, you restore this connection and insulin may finally do what it's supposed to do. Additionally, chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the key drivers of insulin resistance, and magnesium helps calm that storm. It reduces the release of inflammatory molecules, which are known to interfere with insulin signaling in fat, liver, and muscle tissue. When these inflammatory markers are high, your cells become stubborn and less responsive. But magnesium has a natural anti-inflammatory effect that smooths out this dysfunction, allowing insulin to move glucose where it belongs without having to shout. It's like fixing a bad connection, so the message gets through again. According to PubMed, magnesium supplementation improved insulin sensitivity by lowering fasting glucose and insulin levels in several clinical trials, regardless of age, sex, or dosage form. Adding more magnesium into your daily routine doesn't take much, just a handful of pumpkin seeds, some spinach in your lunch, or a supplement, if needed, may make a noticeable difference. 6. Increase soluble fiber to heal the gut-liver axis. What's happening in your digestive system doesn't stay there. It directly affects how your liver handles glucose and how your entire body responds to insulin. That's where soluble fiber comes in. Found in foods like flaxseeds, oats, lentils, and chia seeds, soluble fiber acts like a natural regulator inside your digestive tract. It doesn't just slow down digestion, it sends a chain reaction of benefits through the gut-liver axis, which is a critical system in controlling metabolic health. Soluble fiber helps in a number of ways. Firstly, it feeds the bacteria in your gut, which make short-chain fatty acids, mainly butyrate and propionate. These compounds support the health of your gut lining, making it stronger and less permeable. That's incredibly important because when the gut barrier is weak, toxins from food and bacteria may leak into the bloodstream, triggering chronic inflammation. This low-grade inflammation travels to the liver and muscles, interfering with insulin receptors and making your cells less responsive. But when you regularly eat soluble fiber, your gut becomes more resilient, inflammation goes down, and your insulin signaling starts to work like it should again. Furthermore, soluble fiber directly influences the liver's glucose production. During insulin resistance, the liver often releases sugar into the blood, even when it's not needed, making the situation worse. But soluble fiber slows the absorption of nutrients and stabilizes the post-meal rise in blood sugar, which signals the liver to calm down and reduce unnecessary glucose output. On top of that, fiber-rich meals lead to a gentler insulin response from the pancreas, helping avoid the sharp spikes and crashes that stress your metabolic system. Over time, this helps retrain the liver to listen to insulin and keep blood sugar more stable throughout the day. According to Elsevier, high intake of whole grains and insoluble cereal fibers is linked to a 20 to 30% lower risk of type 2 diabetes, independent of glycemic index or fiber fermentability. These effects may involve reduced protein absorption and altered amino acid metabolism. What's amazing is that you don't need drastic changes to start seeing results. Just adding a few tablespoons of flax seeds to your smoothie or including beans and lentils a few times a week may start healing your gut and rebalancing that critical gut-liver connection. 7. Zone 2 cardio for mitochondrial health. Zone 2 cardio isn't just any workout, it's a very specific way of moving that activates some of the deepest parts of your body's energy system. This moderate level of activity taps into fat as your primary fuel source and, over time, completely upgrades how your body uses energy. Zone 2 cardio makes your mitochondria stronger. Mitochondria are the little engines inside your muscle cells that turn food into energy you may use. When mitochondria function better, your body becomes far more efficient at burning fat instead of relying solely on glucose. That means less demand on insulin, less glucose stuck in the bloodstream, and more balance overall. Mitochondrial efficiency is often severely reduced in people with insulin resistance, so training this system directly may help your body switch back into a healthy metabolic rhythm. Moreover, Zone 2 cardio improves how your muscles absorb and use glucose. When you move consistently at this level, your muscles increase the number and activity of glucose transporters. These are tiny gateways that pull sugar out of your blood and into your muscle cells where it's needed for energy. What's amazing is that this effect doesn't just happen while you're exercising, it actually makes your muscles more insulin sensitive throughout the day. That means fewer blood sugar spikes, less fat storage, and more steady energy levels. According to Biomed Research International, 30 minutes of moderate exercise before breakfast reduced dawn glucose spikes and improved daily blood sugar control in type 2 diabetes patients. Whether it's a brisk walk, a light bike ride, or an easy jog, just 45 minutes a few times a week may start changing how your cells respond to insulin. This isn't about burning calories. Moving on, let's discuss 5 powerful foods that help cure insulin resistance. When I first started learning about insulin resistance, I thought I had to cut out everything I loved. But the truth is, certain foods may actually help heal your metabolism, support your cells, and make insulin work better in your body. 1. Avocados. You've probably heard they're a healthy fat, but avocados go way beyond that. They're packed with monounsaturated fats that help improve insulin sensitivity by reducing inflammation in your fat tissue. Plus, they contain potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals your cells need to respond to insulin correctly. A little avocado with your meals may help stabilize blood sugar and keep you full longer. 2. Flaxseeds. These tiny seeds are loaded with lignans and alpha-linolenic acid, which directly improve insulin function and lower fasting glucose levels. They also support your gut bacteria in a way that reduces systemic inflammation, a hidden driver of insulin resistance. Just 2 tablespoons ground up into a smoothie or yogurt may make a real impact. 3. Lentils. Lentils digest slowly, which means your blood sugar stays steady instead of spiking after meals. But what makes them special is their unique blend of resistant starch and polyphenols, which help lower liver glucose production and boost insulin sensitivity in muscle cells. They're also a great plant-based source of iron and protein, which supports steady energy levels. 4. Berries. Blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries are full of antioxidants, called anthocyanins. These compounds help your cells become more responsive to insulin and reduce oxidative stress in your blood vessels and tissues. Even better, they're low in sugar, but still satisfy sweet cravings, so you're getting the taste without the glucose spike. 5. Sauerkraut. Fermented foods like sauerkraut support a healthier gut microbiome, which plays a major role in how your body handles insulin. A well-balanced gut reduces inflammation and improves hormone signaling between your digestive tract and your brain. Just a few forkfuls alongside meals may help repair the gut-liver axis and support long-term metabolic health. Each of these hacks works in a completely different way inside your body, whether it's helping your cells produce more energy, resetting your hormone balance, or calming the hidden inflammation that starts in your gut. I've seen how powerful these changes may be, and when you use them together, they create a full, effective strategy to reverse insulin resistance from the inside out. Your body isn't broken, and neither is mine. It's actually incredibly smart and adaptable. When you give it the right signals, the right foods, and the right habits, it starts to fix itself. Today we learned about all the hacks to cure insulin resistance. Do you want to know other secrets of our health? I want to find out more. Watch 12 early warning signs your kidneys are in danger of failure. Or watch 9 worst foods for arthritis you should avoid. You may watch either or both of them. Do you keep a close eye on your blood sugar level? Let us know in the comments section below.